Hey, howdy, hey, this is Monday of week 9, and we're here to recap week 8. So, week 8 had some interesting things happen. 2 times while I was teaching, I was brought out of the classroom for pretty much an entire period. So, the first day was on Tuesday, and about 20 minutes into my lesson, somebody comes and they're like, hey, we need you because the school district people are here and you need to become part of this meeting. And pretty much it was just me sitting there listening to the district people talk and getting to introduce myself as the English teacher who's here teaching English. They shook my hand and we took a picture, and I missed pretty much a whole period because of that. The next day, we had monks come to the school, and I missed pretty much an entire other period because of that. But that was a little more interesting to me. It was kind of cool, and it was more culturally interesting, I think, to be a part of that, because they showed up, a bunch of them lined up, sat down, and they talked to some of the students about Buddhism and what Buddhism means. And then, as part of a Buddhist tradition, people would give them offerings of either money or rice. So I was given a bowl of rice to go around to each of these monks and put basically a scoop, like a spoonful, into the bowls that they have. Some people were giving money, and then other people's give rice. So I learned from one of my co-teachers that is one of the... There's 3, I forget what he calls them, but there's 3 main facets of Buddhism. And one is this, where you give to the monks. The second one is there are 5, following like the 5 customs. I forget what the word is for that too. It's not customs, they have a specific word for it. I forget what it is, but I remember the customs. It is don't steal, don't kill, don't drink, don't do anything with any person that is not your spouse, and don't lie. Speak the truth. So those are the 5. The word escapes me. So following those 5 things is the second thing you do in Buddhism. And then the third is samadhi, meditation. And I already meditate. I think that's something I enjoy doing. I've been upping my game to 20 minutes a day, and I'm trying to get it to 30 minutes within the next month. That's a goal of mine. And I talked to one of my teachers, or my school directors, and he's like, yeah, that's good, that's good. I meditate an hour every single day. And I'm like, wow, I am really behind then. I really gotta up my game. So he's been a good person to talk to, kind of inspiring in that sense. I did learn there are some meditation centers here in Cambodia, and one of them is called Vipassana, and I think Vipassana tries to be doesn't adhere to any specific religion. It's kind of like a form of meditation where you're just focused on the breath, and that piques my fancy. I think that's something I'd like to go check out during my time here, maybe during some time off. We will see. It's supposed to be pretty intense, but they have them in America, and it was something I wanted to do before I left the country and didn't get a chance to. But now they have the same thing here, except all of the things will be done in Khmer instead of English. Because you go, you meditate for like the whole day, you eat meals, you're supposed to be quiet, and then at the end of the day they have lectures kind of about meditation. So that's something that's interesting that I'm definitely curious to go do. But again, that would be all in Khmer. Anyways, with the monks, we went around, we did the rice thing, and then I went back to my class. I had about 20 minutes left to teach an hour's worth of something, so I did my best. I only had to teach 4 letters that day, so we basically taught the letters really quick. Didn't get a lot of practice with them, and didn't get to play any of the fun games, but that's just how it goes sometimes. I'm always astonished just the cultural difference between classroom management here in Cambodia versus America. Because in America, you can't leave the kids alone for even 2 seconds. There are so many rules against that. But here, when the teachers come and lesson plan with me, they just give their students something to work on, and then they come do it. And the craziest part is the kids do the thing. The kids follow the directions, and they don't like beat each other up or make a bunch of problems. They listen and they obey what the teacher asks them to do. And so that's why it's okay to leave kids alone in the classroom here. Whereas America, often the case, if you leave the classroom, kids are up to shenanigans. So then, it was also the Lunar New Year this year, this week. Friday and Saturday, there was some celebrating. I did some celebrating with my host family at the house. Pretty much, we just enjoyed a few cold ones in the evening, and I stayed up a little bit later than I normally do, which was 10 o'clock. And then Saturday, I think, was the actual Lunar New Year. Or maybe it was the whole weekend. I'm not entirely certain. A little bit confused about it still. I think Saturday was the day, though. But I think everybody celebrated throughout the weekend. Yeah, and so we had this dish. I forget what it was called. It was a soup that is traditional. It's a Chinese soup that you eat around the Lunar New Year. At least in Cambodia, they eat this specific soup because somebody told me about it at my school on Friday, and then Friday night when I was hanging out with the family, they had some. I was like, this is that thing I was told about. So that was the Lunar New Year. Saturday and Sunday, I had a pretty typical weekend. I went to the coffee shop. I did a little hanging around the house, did some laundry, played some guitar. I enjoyed some weather. Oh, that's the other thing. It rained a ton this week. In the beginning of the week, it rained 3 or 4 days, and it was heavy rain, and it was really nice. It definitely cooled down the environment a little bit. And I love the sound of rain. I've got these I don't know if it's tin, it's like these shingles. Some kind of shingles. I think clay or something, I don't know. It sounds really nice though when the rain's hitting them. And then these last 2 days, the weather's cooled down to like 80 some odd degrees, which is a huge difference. It's so comfortable. It was really nice. I don't even need my fan. But that's only gonna last for maybe another day as the temperature starts to hike back up to mid-90s. Yeah, so that has been the week here in Cambodia. I don't think I have much more beyond this. Yeah, I bought some new shoes. I've been wearing my hiking shoes to school every day, but I'm getting kind of tired of it, so I got some more casual shoes because people's shoes are pretty casual here, but not too super casual. They're kind of nice looking. But it's pretty much most of what I have going on. Oh, yeah, and another thing. Okay, 2 more things. I did my first test, gave my first test in Khmer. So kids had vocabulary words that they're supposed to read. I wrote them on the board in Khmer, and then they have to write them in English. Huge disparity between 5th grade A, 5th grade B, 5th grade C. Very, very obvious. A lot of the 5th grade A kids were able to do the things, maybe just misspelling a word here or there. A lot of 5th grade C kids didn't have any idea how to spell a lot of the words, which is interesting. I don't know what I gotta do to help boost these kids up to that level. But what I found really interesting is their answers weren't like remotely close to what the answer was supposed to be. For instance, oranges. They've got to spell oranges. They might write something like LYKRP, like just completely random letters. I think just because they don't really know what it is, so, and they don't even have like the foundation enough to guess at it, so they just write some random letters, hope for the best. Like I said, I don't know exactly what to do for kids when they're at that level, because I feel like in class we go over it, we spell them on they've got little whiteboards that they use, and we pronounce it and we say it and they read it and we do it over and over again, and the testing day they don't got it. So I found that pretty interesting. To be determined on how to help boost the reading level of the C classes. The A classes and the B classes, the B, right down the middle. I saw some kids who did the same thing as the C classes, where it was just random letters, but a good amount of them also have the spelling down like in A classes. And then the A classes, a good majority of them have the spelling down. Yeah, so this coming week I'm gonna do the same thing for grades 4 and 6. Oh, not this coming week. This coming week I'm gonna plan for next week and have a test for grades 4 and 6. And then the final thing that I was gonna say, I don't think there's a final thing. That was the final thing. Psych! Okay, I remember the final thing. We gotta get doing the PACA this week. So the PACA is what you need to have accomplished before you do your secondary project to assess what kind of secondary projects will be good for your school. And I feel intimidated by doing the PACA, because basically I have to get all the teachers together and I have to basically guide some kind of activity more than once. One activity is getting a weather map, basically a seasonal calendar to kind of map what the weather's like and how that's going to affect the projects we're trying to do. The other one is a dailies activity log, I think, for all of the teachers to kind of talk about when they might have free time to do secondary projects. And then the third is a community map of the area, and I don't exactly know why we do that one. Probably to know what's helpful and where to find supplies and all that sort of stuff. I'm not exactly sure, but I feel kind of intimidated by having to lead these meetings, especially because I didn't do any of these before. When we did our PACA practice, a group of 4 did one thing, so everybody only got practice with one of the tools, and the tool that I got practice with wasn't one of these 3. I guess we're gonna do that after IST, but these 2 of these 3 are due before IST, technically due next 2 weeks, and I haven't started. I also feel like I already know what I'm doing for my secondary project and I don't want to do the PACA. My school has already told me they want me to teach English to the teachers and they want me to work on a community garden. So they're pretty set on like, these are the secondary projects we want done. And it kind of feels a little superfluous to do the PACA at this point, since the point of the PACA is to assess what needs to be done. But my school knows what they want to be done. So that's just how it goes. I think I still have to do it. So I'm going to start thinking about that this week. All right. Excellent. So that's a wrap. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next week. Lehigh.